Hello people, as you can see today we are looking at Planet Zoo. I don't know how much people have heard about it, how much they haven't heard about it. I don't know if I've ever played Zoo Tycoon, any of the series there. I'm currently really enjoying it, but I love animals, I love management games, so it kind of ticks all my boxes personally. As you can see, there's a lot of options here. I'm still working my way through the career. I think I have 19 hours played time so far, and I've had it maybe about 5 days, so if that gives you any idea of how much I like it. I'm not going to give away any of the scenarios in case you want to buy it, so I am just going to resume the zoo I had before, where you'll be able to see some of the things I've done, and get a bit of a feel for the things you can do. It actually is really open-ended. It's really enjoyable. It's made by Frontier Developments, and for the basic version it's $64.95. For the deluxe version, which comes with 3 extra animals, I believe it's like a pygmy hippopotamus, a Komodo dragon, a gazelle of some kind, $78.95. Or if you want the Arctic bundle and the normal one, it's $75.47 at the moment because it's 5% off. That is the one I bought because I'm a sucker for all zoo-related games. So this is my zoo. I had to build this one from scratch. I think this is the 3rd scenario where you've got to meet certain requirements. Oh, that's why I stopped playing this one. I went to the minuses. So, a few different features in this game that are super good. So you can go... This is my Timberwolves. You can go into their environment. You can look pretty in-depth about all of the things, so they feel like they don't have enough hard shelter. I think that's because I put this hay in there. So then I can move that, or I can edit the group, and I can take this out, and there you go. So you can put the hay in, take the hay out, whatever you want to do. It's all very user-friendly. It's pretty simple. So they feel like they've got a bit better hard shelter now. You can look at their environment, how much plant coverage they want, what kind of plants they want. It'll tell you down here if they like or don't like the plants. Enrichment, you can see here that they're getting bored of the blood scent markers, the sprinklers, and the prey-scented snack. So I can just go ahead and... Ooh, maybe I shouldn't do that. I can't afford to buy them more. Oh well. So you can go through and just delete those things that they're bored of and put in different ones, because the idea is that you want to keep their enrichment up and they get bored of stuff, so you then have to put in the different toys for them. I can't even afford a roof that's $5. So that kind of gives you a bit of an idea, and you've got so many different animals and so many different enrichment things, and research is something I'll get to in a second. So here you can see I've got my American bisons. I kind of I didn't cheat, but I made this a bit easier on myself. The first time I tried this, I actually failed the level because all of my animals required so many heaters and things that I lost like 40 grand. I think I was in debt by the time I gave up, and it was unsustainable. So I started again, and I picked animals that can kind of live in the biome or the temperature and all that Canada has to offer. So you can see that the feeders are empty, there's some poop everywhere, so you call the keeper, and the keeper will come and fill up feeders. They have a magic poop vacuum. You can see I've got quite a few little babies hanging around, so that's pretty good. I've got staff members that can't seem to find the break room, but I feel like there's like 3 of them in here, so I feel like that's more of a them problem. And I'm low on cash, which obviously... So here is research. So you have your mechanics researching stuff like different shops you can have, different themes for building, different barriers for your habitats, and also some climbable things. And then vet research, they research all the animals and diseases. So I actually had an outbreak of... Oh, what was it an outbreak of? I don't even remember now. But I had an outbreak and I almost lost quite a few animals, so that's when I started researching diseases, and I just hired a ridiculous number of vets. I probably don't need this many vets. But then you can go into... So as you can see, I've maxed these ones out. So you can go into advanced research mode, which basically just improves how much information people are getting about the animals from... better call a mechanic to that. Here, which gives you more information put out on these. The more informed guests are, the longer they stay. I've also got little speakers. I don't want to build a path. I've also got little speakers that give information about the various animals. Some of them have really specific needs, like these. Sorry, I'm just going to call some mechanics because I've got some damaged barriers. These monkeys here, if I can find one. These monkeys here need snow and dirt, so I have to make sure that I have a cooler in this habitat so that they always have snow available to them. Whereas, oh my god, no, there's already a mechanic coming. Whereas the snow leopards need pretty much all snow. I know, what a shocker. And lemurs obviously need it to all be warm. As you can see, my little lemur friends. You can go into like, gimme, into camera mode, and you can just watch the animals hang about and do stuff. That one's pooping, and somehow almost pooped its way through the game. So that's a bit of fun. You can also look. So I know that if these two lemurs are still in the zoo, I need to rehome that one before it becomes an adult to stop inbreeding. Then over here, we've got my grizzly bears. They're not too happy. Every time there's a cub in the enclosure, they're not too happy, so I just make sure I rehome it as soon as I can, basically. Up here, I've got my really depressing shop section, as you can see. Not depressing at all. This is actually fun, I'll show you that in a second. Then I got my crocodiles over here. Oh, that one's really little, isn't he? And then they've got different traits, and so if you look here, this one, very small. Not great immunity, but he's got good longevity and good fertility. I don't even know if it's a he, I'm sorry, it's a girl. So when you are in the animal trading, I can't afford anything, you can click on them and kind of have a look and go, oh, that might be good for a breeding program if I'm trying to release them into the wild. Releasing things into the wild gives you these leaf points, which you can use to buy. Here you can see some bears. There was also some gorillas hanging around somewhere. Oh look, it's 9 for that one. I'm in Australia, and in our zoos these just roam wild. We don't actually have them in enclosures, but in this game they have to be in enclosures because I think they for some reason count as a dangerous animal. I've got heaps of research completed. And then, so this was my little weird shopping precinct, and then this was just a bit of a test I did to see if I could just build out randomly, and you can indeed just build out randomly. So I just put some seats in a bathroom here. So anybody that gets to here and wants to go to the bathroom has to go all the way up here, and then around here and into there. So that's just my little FU to the people. So I've had a death. Died of old age, so there was really nothing I could have done about that. It was almost 30 years old. I feel like that's probably a pretty good lifespan. I don't really know. If you do want to know, there's the Zoopedia, which will give you heaps of information about them. It'll show you how much space they need, if they need climbing stuff, if they need water, what temperatures, all of this. So you can really kind of what their enrichments are, so that if you have researched certain enrichments, you can kind of synergize a bit so you don't spend too much time researching and have too many research buildings. This I started off fairly neat, as you can see in this little section, and then as I needed more and more things, I just plonked them wherever I could, really. Guests don't like being able to see it, so I did put this wall through, but it seems like the zookeepers and all your other stuff, oh no, can just can just walk straight through those fences, so I don't know. I'm not sure how that got out. It's always this habitat that seems to be so unclean. It's a disease risk. It doesn't really seem to matter how much I call vets and zookeepers, and this is where my outbreak started, but somehow it did spread to the lemurs. So I'm thinking I should probably rehome some of these dudes, because there is quite a few of them in there, as you can clearly see. So this one was bred in my zoo, so I'm going to rehome her, and her, and her, and her. And we're going to release them into the wild, which, as you can see, gives us these leafy things. Each one gives you a different amount depending on the quality of the animal, how much time it has left to breed, how fertile it is, all that kind of stuff. And that has taken the number of animals in that enclosure way down, which is good. I'm not sure how this bear escaped, so it's a bit worrying. I am in the cash positive thing at the moment, so that's definitely a bonus. Oh no, another one died and I just got rid of 4 of them. Oh shit. Oh well. Yes, and now I'm going to have some fighting in my lemur enclosure because I have too many males, adult males. Okay, so these two both need to be released to the wild because they're both adults. What else do we need to do? The snow leopards seem to get constantly low welfare. It says it does. Let me just call a mechanic to fix that fence. For some reason, mechanics fix fences. So if you click on them, they've always got social problems. And if you, oh, they don't like that tree or that rock. And then if you go into their, what am I doing? Their social bit. I don't really know why they're having social issues, and it says that they're trying to hide when you hover over something in here. Animals distressed and trying to hide. So I tried to set up like this thing so that they could hide from the guests in there. I've put all this extra corrugated steel around the edge here to try and get them, so maybe if they're feeling distressed they can come up into this corner or something. I can't put any of these things too close to the edge because they can jump. But what seems to calm them down, and I don't know why, is if they jump on this roof here, that takes their stress down again for some reason. So, I don't know. Oh. These paths here are staff only. These paths here are for anybody. This particular map doesn't let me do it, but you can actually just, if you wanted to, you could just take this terrain and make an arch and then put something up the top there if you really wanted to. You can do all kinds of wacky things. You can put water in the enclosures. Once again, can't do it on this map. I can on the next one, but that's less work I did, and it's more that someone else built that park and you've got to kind of come in and manage it and fix it up or whatever. These are apparently the people visiting my zoo. I will say that Scarabic tends to visit my zoo quite a lot for some reason, and I tend to visit my own zoo a lot for some reason. Okay, so then exhibits are the next thing. So these are your little exhibits. You can see here what you've got in there. I did have some issues. I had a frog exhibit and I had some issues with having way too many frogs in there because apparently they breed a lot and they have a lot of babies. So you can zoom in and you can see your little snaky poo hanging out there. You have to research these as well, and you have to set their temperatures and their humidity correctly. Researching them unlocks these things. I just gave this one basically all of them, and other than that they're actually really easy to manage. That's all they really need done, but they are things like frogs, snakes, spiders, so they're kind of, I don't want to say less intense, but they're easier animals to manage. Like if you ever had a pet beetle, it doesn't really require a whole bunch of ball chasing to be happy or anything. It's fairly simple. You can change the meal quality, and that will change how much it costs to feed them, which this probably has a lot to do with why I'm so poor all the time, because I just want all my animals to be happy all the time, and you know, sometimes you've got to keep the zoo open. I was actually doing really well right before I went into the minuses, I had heaps of money, and then I built this horrifying monstrosity up here, and now I'm broke. They're already on grade 2. Okay, so now let's talk about buildings. So I'm just gonna have to build one in the middle of nowhere. I don't have any money. I think we can take out a loan. 5 grand ain't enough. Can I take off multiple loans? No. Can only take out those 2. God damn it. Doesn't get me out of the red, does it? Okay, well basically... Oh, I can probably still show you in the menu anyway. Where is it? Facilities. So here, as you can see, it's just like an insulation outside. There is no actual outside to the building. So then you have to go into construction and put on all of your walls and your roofs and all that kind of stuff. I actually ran out of money here, so you can see straight through these roofs because I haven't put the triangles on yet. And this one I accidentally put on top for some reason. See? So it is all super customizable. There are so many things in here. So you can put up planters and just random shapes if you really want to. And then there's special effects, so there's like dirt blowers and water blowers and all kinds of stuff. And there's all this stuff, so there's a whole bunch of letters that you can play around with. I think I put letters or something on something. Ah, here's where I was playing with it. So I put this zoo banner on this one to make it look slightly less horrifying. And I put this giant R and this Z on this one for no particular reason, and this zebra banner just because I was playing around. So there's heaps you can actually do with it. And it is super enjoyable to do. And if you like management style games, there's a lot to manage in this game, which I like as well. If you don't like managing things, you're probably not going to enjoy this very much because there's a lot going on all the time. So this dude had a high workload, but everyone else seems to have a low workload, or efficient. I've got heaps of keepers, heaps of vendors. Jesus Christ. How many vendors do I have? This is probably the other reason why I'm so broke. 31 vendors. Okay, that's my dog just having a little cry. Sorry. He's asleep. And then I've got heaps of vets, and the vets are really expensive, so I might actually have to look at getting rid of some of these. You don't have a work zone, you can go. You can go. Okay, so that will save me a couple of grand a month. Oh, there you go. That's what they look like without their bodies on. Okay, well I have enough money to put on a wall or something now, so let's go into walls. Ooh, breeze block. Is there nothing that looks slightly less horrifying? So it just kind of glues on like that. Oh, why not? Just kind of glues on like that. Z is the key to flip things. Oh, it looks way nicer than my cement block prison over there. Then you need the shop front one. Oh, look at that, that's beautiful. And now we need a roof. I don't understand how these are a roof. I see. Oh, that's right. Roofs tend to snap directly to the floor, so you have to exit what you're currently editing, and then go back in, and then you can put the roof on. And then it will go back to the floor for the next one, so you have to exit again. And then you can put the roof on. Well, this... Oh... No. That's not what I wanted it to do at all. Triangles. Don't really like it. Oh well, we'll just leave them without triangles. They can just be triangleless. Is anybody coming to fix these fences? Yes, okay. So that's my little zoo. I've got a lot more space to play with in this one and have actually gold start the level. So I don't know. I'll probably come back to it at some point and just play around with it a bit more. But without having the terrain shaping tool and all that kind of stuff, it is a little bit less enjoyable. But I do have so much space here to build more enclosures that I just haven't even got to yet. Not sure. Look at this big open space, that would be beautiful. So this is Zoo Tycoon, where you can do... No, it's not. This is Planet Zoo, like Zoo Tycoon, but with so much more available to it. This is everything I always wished that Zoo Tycoon would be, and it wasn't. Well, not for me anyway. It might have been perfect for you, but it just didn't quite do it for me. If you have any questions, comments, queries, or anything like that, feel free to leave them below. I will try to get back to you. If you want to watch me play this anytime, I do plan on streaming it at some point, just because I plan to try and be a little bit more active on my Twitch stream. I'll put the details for that somewhere. They'll be in the description below anyway, so you can see it there if you really want it. But otherwise, this has been Planet Zoo. I've been Mooglepeep, and this has been an edition of Should You Buy, and I think, yes, I give this the Mooglepeep seal of approval. I think that's the first time I've ever said that, and I don't think I'll ever say that again. That was just terrible. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.